Hello class 9, welcome to your history class. So today we are going to start a very new chapter and the name of the chapter is Harappan Civilization. So wasting no time, let's get started. Okay, you guys must be thinking what's the importance of studying history or why we should learn history, right? So today I'm going to tell you the importance of history and why we should learn history, right? Because without learning history or without knowing our past, without knowing our history, we cannot understand our present and obviously we cannot understand our future also, right? So to better understand our present and future, we need to have a concept of, or we need to know our past, right? So this word history, this word is derived from two words. So it's a mixture of two words, that is his story. His story. So his story means it's a story of man. So story of man doesn't mean story of only male persons, but story of man means both men and women. So his story means a story of both men and women. So we need to understand our past to better know our present life or present. So that's the importance of history. Now let's move to the next topic, that is important features of early civilization and the important sources, features to reconstruct the Harappan civilization. So let's move to that topic. What is civilization? So civilization is what? Is an advanced stage of social development. So advanced stage of social development means like in terms of your definite territories, buildings of cities, and development of trade and commerce, export and import, as well as important features of civilizations like settlement in definite territories and buildings buildings of cities, and development of trade and commerce, as well as various crafts and skill to express one's thought in writing, and some methods, methods of strong government. So civilization is what? Civilization is an advanced stage of social development in which economically, socially, and politically that state, that territory is very, that settlement is very strong, right? So that's a civilization. Now come to the next topic, that is sources to reconstruct the Harappan civilization. So let's move to that topic. Sources. Now sources to reconstruct the Harappan civilization, that means the sources or the materials through which we come to know about that civilization, Harappan civilization. So we have two sources of information, that is one is literary source and another one is archaeological source. So basically there are two types of source which can help or which helps to reconstruct the civilization, or which through which we come to know about the past. So basically there are two sources, one is literary source and another one is archaeological source. But unfortunately regarding this Harappan civilization, we don't have this literary source, right? We have archaeological source only. Okay, why there is no literary source to reconstruct the Harappan civilization? Why only archaeological source was there to reconstruct the Harappan civilization? So the reason is that okay, the written material might be destroyed by Aryans, or those written materials might not have been preserved well, right, or compiled well. So because of that reason, there is no literary sources to reconstruct the Harappan civilization. Now there is only archaeological sources which can reconstruct the Harappan civilization. So here are some of the archaeological sources I've written on the board. So they are the Great Bath, Citadel, Great Granary, figurine of Mother Goddess, seals, bronze figure of dancing girl, dockyards, bearded man. So these are some of the archaeological sources which reconstruct the Harappan civilization. So let's talk about each of these sources one by one. With the discovery of the Harappan civilization, a new chapter was added to the history of India. There are many sources to reconstruct the history of Harappan civilization. Number one is Great Bath. The remains of two towns, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, reveal a remarkable sense of town planning, the drainage system. So, through the study of the remains of Mohenjo-daro and Harappan, two towns or two civilizations, we came to know about their good sense of town planning, because they had such a good town planning, right? So the best example is they had a proper drainage system. So, and the Great Bath, the Assembly Hall, and other public buildings are such other town plannings through which we come to know that Harappan civilization was advanced, right? More advanced. So among the interesting discoveries in the Great Bath, which had galleries and rooms and an open quadrangle in the center, we have given a detailed account of the Great Bath later in this chapter. So we are going to read about this Great Bath in detail in later in this chapter, right? So these two towns, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, each had its own citadel. So which was probably occupied by, so that citadel is what? Which was occupied by the members of ruling class. The citadel points to an elaborate planning which justifies the Harappan civilization was an urban civilization. So that citadel shows that, or elaborates the planning which justifies that the Harappan civilization was an urban civilization, advanced civilization. Now next is more than 2,000 seals have been discovered from the various sites. From seals we come to know about the physical features, dress, ornaments, religious belief, faiths of the people. We have discussed the importance of seals in the later part of this chapter. So we'll come to know the importance of seals, and we'll discuss this about the importance of seals in later in this chapter. Now next is bronze figure of a dancing girl, the terracotta figurine of Mother Goddess, and a stone statue of a noble bearded man suggests that the people of the Harappan and Mohenjo-daro must have been clever craftsmen. So the pictures are given here. This is your bronze figure of a dancing girl, right? Now here it's a bust portrait of a bearded man, Mother Goddess, the bull. So from this we come to know that the Harappan people, they were very skillful and they were very clever in crafts, right? Okay, now next we have a dockyard. A dockyard surrounded by a massive brick wall was discovered at Lothal in Gujarat. So dockyard, this dockyard suggests that they practiced navigations on the coast of Arabian Sea. Now through that study of dockyard, we come to know that the Harappan, they practiced navigation on the coast. Navigation means export and import, right, through waterways. So on the coast of the Arabian Sea. Now next, the Harappans invented the art of writing like the people of ancient Mesopotamia. But the Harappan script has not been deciphered so far. So deciphered means which that script which had been codified or which had been written and on those material was not readable. So that's the deciphered. So whatever they had as a written material, that could not be deciphered. So deciphered means not readable or very difficult to understand, right? That's script. Okay. Now, objects of Sumerian origin found at the Indus cities indicate that there were trade relations between India and Mesopotamia. So Mesopotamia is what? It's Iraq, modern Iraq. So Iraq was known as Mesopotamia that time, right? So objects of Sumerian origin found at the Indus sites that shows or that indicates there was a very great trade relations between India and Iraq, India and Mesopotamia. The Harappans used sets of cubical stones as weight. So to weight something, they used cubical stones, right? Sets of cubical stones. Now next topic is the Harappan civilization, the origin and extent of the civilization. The Harappan civilization came to light only during the third decade of 20th century, when excavations were made by the archaeologists in the northwestern region of India. The excavations led to the discovery of ruins of prehistoric cities of Harappa in West Punjab and Mohenjo-daro in Sindh. As the sites of the early excavation were found on the banks of the rivers of Indus and its tributaries, it first came to be known as the Indus Valley Civilization. So this is the reason why Harappan civilization is also known by or popularly known as the Indus Valley Civilization. Why? The first time when it was excavated as the sites of the early excavation, this ruins of Harappan civilization was found on the banks of the river Indus and its tributaries. That is why it is known as, or it came to be known as Indus Valley civilization. So the Harappan civilization often termed as the Indus Valley civilization. The origin and extent of the civilization in 1921, the archaeologist under R.B. Daya Ram Saini unearthed the ruins of city of Harappa situated at the bank of river Ravi in West Punjab, now in Pakistan. As Harappa was the first site that was excavated, it came to be known as Harappan civilization. In 1922 to 23, the excavations under Rakhal Das Banerjee of the Archaeological Department led to the discovery of the ruins of the city of Mohenjo-daro located in the Larkana district of Sindh, now in Pakistan. Where further excavations were carried out, similar remains were discovered at Chanu-daro in Sindh, Lothal in Gujarat, and Kalibagan in North Rajasthan, Ropar in Punjab, Alamgirpur in Uttar Pradesh, and Banwali in Haryana. So same ruins are found in these districts or in these states. In these districts of such states, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, and Gujarat, right? Now, by now, more than 800 sites related to the Harappan civilization have been discovered. The Harappan civilization extended from Sutka Gendor on the Makaran coast in the west to Alamgirpur, that is Ganga Yamuna Doab, of Uttar Pradesh in the east. So Ganga Yamuna Doab means it's a plain area or the land between the two rivers, and those two rivers are Ganga and Yamuna. So the Harappan civilization extended from Sutka Gendor to on the Makran coast in the west to the Alamgirpur Ganga Yamuna Doab in the Uttar Pradesh in the east. In the south, the Harappans were using the Gulf of Cambay, that is Khambat. Period of the civilization. Unfortunately, there is no written record about the Indus Valley civilization. Many scholars suggested that it belonged to the period between 3250 to 2750. It was nearly the same period which witnessed the growth of ancient civilization in Egypt and Babylonia, and radiocarbon dates indicate that the Harappan culture existed between 2500 to 1700 BC. Okay, now the modern scientists, they have estimated the age of Harappan civilization round about 2500 to 1700 BC, and that too the radiocarbon dates indicate that the Harappan culture existed between 2500 to 1700 BC. Now, what is radiocarbon? Radiocarbon dating is a process of for determining the age of an object containing organic material by the radiocarbons, right? So that's the method for determining the age of a material. So by radioactive or radio dating method, the modern scientists, they have estimated the age of the Harappan civilization as 2500 to 1700 BC, right? Okay. Okay, just have a look here in this map. This is your Gulf of Cambay, that is Gulf of Khambat also we call it. Now Mohenjo-daro and Banwali, then your Alamgirpur, and many more are there, right? So these are the famous sites or sites from which this archaeologists had excavated the ruins of important towns and cities, right? Okay, so just go through this map. Okay, children, I hope you have understood the importance of history and the importance of our first civilization, that is Harappan or Indus Valley civilization, right? So in next video, I'll explain you about the drainage pattern, drainage system, town planning of Harappan civilization, as well as we'll also read about the dress, ornaments, and food and lifestyle of the Harappan people, right? So I'll take your leave now. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.